Hello. Welcome back to Tint Free. I am Tyler Zorro. Thank you so much for tuning in. Here on Tint Free, we like to get 100%, shed light on a bunch of different things. No tint, try to teach you something or just share something, share my thoughts and, potentially have some pretty good, decent conversations on here, If you're watching the video version on YouTube, I apologize. I don't have a video recording this time around. Not really sure what's going on with my hardware, but hopefully I can get it figured out. If you do OBS stuff, please let me know. I really want to figure this out because I like doing my video versions. You're not able to see the new do-rag that I'm rocking right now. I really like how it looks. It's a different type of color. It's like a brown and a green. It looks like a kiwi in my opinion. I got it from the 4YE homies. If you know 4YE, I'm pretty new to 4YE, but they're classic YouTubers, OGs of this stuff, and they got some nice looking stuff on their website. So that's why I decided to get some new do-rag songs. I feel like I was always rocking the same old one, but I got some new stuff now. Before I move into the contents of this podcast for this episode, this podcast is available on all major platforms such as Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify. So wherever you want to listen to it, go ahead and get it there. Make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe. Can you please, if you can, please go to Apple Podcasts and rate this podcast 5 stars. It would greatly help me out, and I'd really appreciate it. If you're watching the video version, or if you can, just go ahead to YouTube, look me up, Tyler Zorro on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I've not hit 100 subscribers yet, and I'm kind of sad that I haven't checked. It's been like 4 years since I've been doing this stuff, 4 to 5 years at this point. I kind of want to start hitting these marks. I'm trying to grow on this stuff. So please do, if I'd really appreciate it. Of course, follow me on social media, at Tyler Zorro is a new Instagram handle. So yeah, go ahead, follow me there, and let's get into it. I'll be honest, I tried to record this episode like a week ago, but I had so many issues with the video. I recorded a video, realized that it was choppy at certain parts, so I tried to re-record those parts, and it just felt so clunky and choppy. I couldn't go through with this. So, here we are with the official 3rd episode, and I got some interesting stuff to bring up. I didn't put like a post on Instagram this time around for topics or whatnot, so I'm definitely just going off my own feelings here, which is totally fine. Actually, before I move into it, make sure you guys got some water, snacks, or whatever you're doing. You might be working out, you might be running in the car, whatever. If you sitting down and you can get some water, go ahead and get some. I'm about to take a drink right quick, actually. It feels so weird doing this without the video, because you can still hear everything, you just can't see nothing. Less pressure on me. I ain't tripping. I'm kind of tripping, I ain't gonna lie. I wanted y'all to see my do-rag. I'm not gonna lie about that. Anyways, let's move into it. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was Tyler, the Creator, dropped a new album called Call Me If You Get Lost. And I'm not by any means like a music reviewer. As a matter of fact, I wanted to talk about this like side topic before I even got into it. Because Call Me If You Get Lost came out 2 weeks ago now. And whenever something drops, people always want to ask you, have you listened to that new stuff yet? Because like my co-parent did it. Because she's a big fan of Tyler, the Creator. I actually didn't listen to Tyler, the Creator until I met her. I don't know. I never really had like a big interest in Tyler, the Creator back then. I never really had like a problem with his music. It just didn't hit me because like when he started blowing up, I was like deep in like my kind of like I was listening to either older hip hop, I was listening to Eminem, I was listening to Drake, and he was just in a different category of hip hop, of music at the time. So I ain't really get into Tyler, the Creator. And so I finally started listening to Tyler, the Creator, and my co-parent, because she listens to everything as soon as it comes out. It doesn't matter. She will wake up early in the morning when she has some time and she'll just listen to her album. And I'm like, I don't got time. Like, I don't got time or patience like that. But like, she asked me, like, hey, you listen to it yet? And I'm just like, nah, I'll get to it when I get to it. Because people always do that. When something big comes up, people always ask me, you listen to that yet? You listen to that new Cole? Listen to that new Kendrick? That Damn, when Damn came out, you listen to Damn yet? I'm saying like, nah, I ain't listened to it yet, I'm not the type of person that I don't listen to music like the minute it comes out, not even a day it comes out. I have to listen to music like in my own space at my own time. Like I literally probably don't listen to music until I'm in the car nowadays. Like I can't listen to an album until I know I'm about to make a 30-minute, 45-minute drive to and from. And it's just like, all right, I got time to listen to this music. I got time to listen to this podcast, I can't just do it when I'm like sitting at home or, just trying to like work out. So like, it's like, it really just like driving is just the easiest way for me to listen to something. So eventually I got to listen to Tyler, the Creator's last album. It just took me a couple of days. I had to get like one of those drives in, right? And let me say, I really did enjoy the album. I've been enjoying Tyler's music recently, and then maybe it's just because he grew on me, like I think that's fair as now a fan of Tyler, the Creator. And it's how it goes for a lot of people. Your music develops over time. So what I didn't feel years before. I like what I'm liking. I'm liking what he's doing now. His music right now is really good. Call Me If You Get Lost is a really good album. I like Flower Boy when I finally listened to it. It was just overall a good album. Ego was experimental, and it was a really good album in the end. His instrumentation, his image, the stories that he was telling on all these albums are just really good. And Call Me If You Get Lost, like, it doesn't miss any of that. Like, it hits even harder. Let me tell you, the first thing that I really appreciated about the album was hearing DJ drama on every single track. If you were like me, from like the 2010 to like the 2016, 17 era, in high school is when I like started listening to mixtapes all the time, because that was the only free music I could get. I didn't buy albums, things like that. I missed a lot of music, like all the popular music, because I didn't buy the albums. I either heard it on the radio. But like, I would have my mixtapes, Dat Piff, and I would always download like the free stuff. And I'm not lying when I tell you that half of all the music I had downloaded had DJ Drama hosting the mixtapes. I find that so insane. DJ Drama was very impactful in the music that I listened to between 2012 and like 2017. So seeing that Tyler brought him on there, and he gave us that Gangsta Grills like feel throughout the entire album, on an album, not a mixtape, on an album, was just amazing. So I really appreciate that. This brings me back to those high school days and whatnot. Like I said, Tyler's instrumentation is really good. The messages that he likes to send, with how he was responding to how people felt about him responding to Black Lives Matter on Manifesto, the story that he wanted to tell about, kind of like getting in between a relationship because of a girl that he really liked, and like a homie in their relationship on Wilshire. And he kind of mentioned it going up until Wilshire, how he was like, I tried to steal somebody's girl, so like, I'm bad for that. But like, overall, like, the story of the entire album was just so good, because it wasn't just that. He was saying so many different things about how he's gotten to a point where he can celebrate. He got him a Grammy, so he's gonna buy a Rolls Royce because he don't really know what else to do, right? And even like, whether or not he got it the way he wanted to, he got that, and everybody gonna hate on it. And it's just like, hey, he's doing his thing. I really enjoyed the fact that like, he's boasting, yes, but it's also just like, it's fair for him to do it. Like, he did a lot to get where he is, and it's just like, he's doing a lot of amazing things, whether it's his music, his media, his fashion, or whatever else he's trying to do with his life. Like, dude is cool, and he's really influential, and not just as an artist, but just as a person. He's very outgoing. He's very honest about himself. He can be extremely funny. I watched like his hour-long like Amazon performance. It was pretty cool. But yeah, it's just like, he's just like, I think he's a really dope person. Like, just in general, like, I'm trying to reach his level of confidence, if that makes any sense. I want to be, pretty outgoing and kind of just enjoying life whenever I can, whenever I want. But it takes some time to get there. That's just cool to me. So I think that was a really good album. I ain't gonna put no pressure on you if you ever listen to it, chat. Listen to music at your own pace. I already don't listen to a lot of music these days, a lot of new music. But it's probably just because I don't know, it's overwhelming to listen to music. I don't know if it's just like I get distracted easily. It's just, sometimes I want to listen to a new album. I put it on and like 2 songs, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to listen to this right now. I want to listen to something that I know I'm going to enjoy. And that's probably pretty like, kind of closed-minded on me, but it's how it is. I can't do nothing about it. Also, the one song he did, the 2-song track, Sweet and I Thought You Wanted to Dance. The Sweet is good. Like, honestly, the entire album is good. There's so many different like feelings to it. He had like the Houston sound. He had very like just classic hip hop sound. Like, he has his music, his instrumentals are definitely like worth like freestyling over. Like, that's no BS. Like, his instrument, like the way he puts his beats together, his samples and everything. Like, this man can can easily drop like a freestyle like mixtape for people to just go off on it and just create songs off of. That's how good Tyler is. I don't feel like I had that thought about a lot of people. But that's usually because not everybody makes their own beats, but he does. And I'm just saying, lot of good music. But for Sweet and I Thought You Wanted to Dance, how he did I Thought You Wanted to Dance, one, because it was Caribbean, like the way he put the beat together, it was Caribbean. But also, if you've ever seen his Tiny Desk concert that he did on NPR, it just reminded me of that performance when he had those players with him, all the people who did different instruments. He had somebody on drums, bass, on the keys, his singers. Like, it was it's a very good performance if you haven't seen it. It's still Tyler being Tyler, but it's so genuine and the music is so well done. And there were songs from Flyboy. It just sounded so nice. It's so good. But that's what it reminded me of listening to it. I don't think he got the same people to do that track, but if he would have, like, it's just so good. I really appreciate it. But I'm gonna move into some other topics that I have. Just something that bothered me. Like I said, I can very easily get distracted and kind of just not want to listen to whatever is coming on or watch something. If I don't have enough interest, it's not going to hold me. And I don't know. I probably shouldn't be apologetic about that because I try, but like sometimes I'm just like, I can't listen to it. I'm sorry, but look, I'll be on TikTok sometimes, and usually when I'm on social media, I'm not I'm not trying to be there for a long time. Like social media, I'm probably on Instagram or TikTok because I'm supposed to be working or I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm trying to distract myself. And I'm trying not to like get so tired that I don't want to sit here. I want to go to sleep. I'm trying to keep myself awake while also like not getting too bored. So I'm already on there with the intention of not being on there for long. I'm here for like a quick laugh, find something really interesting. I'm not here for an article or to read or to watch all of your stories. Nothing like that, right? So I'll be on TikTok, and there are some TikToks that it kind of just like they take way too long to start. Because it'll be like the ones where they're just like either like watch till the end. As soon as you tell me watch to the end, I'm like, okay, this might be a long video, and I'm just going scroll to the next one. Don't tell me to watch to the end. I'm not going to watch it. It's just you telling me that I gotta wait to get to the good part. I'm gonna just keep it moving, and it'd be the TikToks where it's just like I don't really know how to explain them, but it's when people are they want to like show you something, so it'll be like a kind of like a scenario thing, like when your best friend does this, and it's just like the music's playing, and the person is just staring at the camera or just doing like weird gestures or faces, whatever, until like they actually show the clip of what they want to show you, but they have to wait for the music to get to the right point. I know some people have to know what I'm talking about, but those TikToks, I don't want to wait to get to the good part. I don't want to watch till the end. I don't want to wait till the music gets to the part where you wanted to comment. You could have cut all of that out and just went straight to that part. The anticipation is not worth the 15, 20 seconds you got me just waiting, looking at your face, unamused. Like, like no offense, it's just extra. It's not necessary. But and look, I know TikTok added this new feature where you can actually seek throughout your TikToks. At least if you allow that feature to be there, I'm still not going to use it. Because I still know that I gotta wait for this, and I'm here to just get in, get out, find something quick to laugh at, and move on. I'm still not going to use that scrolling feature for those moments. You know what that scroll feature is for? It's for the videos that don't make you wait too long, where the funny part didn't already came, and it's like, oh, I want to see that part again. I'm gonna scroll back a couple more seconds. I'm gonna watch that part again. Scroll back a couple more seconds, watch it again. Like that's what that feature is for. It's not for me to scroll through your video to try to find the good, interesting part. I'm just saying, and this is coming from somebody who don't make TikToks. I don't know what all the process is and things like that, but I'm just ranting. Be mad. I don't care. Like I ain't who really cares? It's TikToks. Those videos don't live forever. Well, some of them probably do, but most of them don't live forever. Everybody's making too many TikToks, in my opinion. But freedom of expression. It's cool. It'd be funny. Another thing that came to mind the other day. So if you have your license and you've been driving for some time, probably like most people do, you're on a highway. So imagine this scenario: you're on a highway, right? This is something that I feel like driving school doesn't teach you; they don't prepare you for. So so imagine you're on a highway. You just got on the highway. You just came off the ramp. Imagine it's 3 lanes. So you're in a far right lane. There's a car, you're driving, there's a car in the middle lane. You're trying to move ahead, whatever. Then you want to like decide, I'm gonna merge into the middle lane after I pass this car, right? Car going a little too slow for you, or you're driving, you get past the car in the middle lane, then you're still in the far right lane. There's a car in front of you just kind of going too slow. You want to get around that car. So you decide you're going to start to merge, you're going to turn your signal on, you're going to start to merge into that middle lane, right? But then as you're doing that, there's a car that's going your same speed in the far left lane, and you want to move into that middle lane, and so does that car in the left lane. That car also wants to move into the middle lane, and they may or may not have their signal on, so you don't know exactly what they're about to do. And so you both start to merge into that middle lane at the exact same time, and the both of you catch it last second that y'all about to collide into that middle lane. That's something that they did not teach me in driving school. And I feel like that's something that you should be prepared for. I mean, like, technically, you should always be aware of your surroundings. You should always be paying attention to what everybody else is doing on the road as well as yourself. It's a lot. It can be overwhelming. But I'm just saying, like, that's a scenario that no one has ever like brought up to me, that like you could potentially merge into a lane that somebody else is merging into at the exact same time, and you might hit each other. It's a possibility. I didn't know there was a possibility until it happened to me more than a couple of times, and it's just like, I feel like that's something that should be mentioned. It should be mentioned at least. It ain't gotta be like a whole block out like lesson for it. But I'm just saying that should be mentioned somewhere. Just something I wanted to mention. It happens. I'm sure. I know somebody else has experienced it. If you have, please let me know in the comments. um, so far, if you're enjoying the this episode, again, please remember to like, follow, subscribe wherever you listen to it at, and just go to Apple and rate it 5 stars. I really appreciate it. Get a drink of water. I'm also about to give me a drink of water right quick. Yeah. All right. So that was the lighter side of the episode. I'm going to move into some more deeper personal things or just more serious things. I don't know if I have to put a disclaimer or not, but it's not necessarily going to get like super sensitive, but it's just going to be like, it's going to be a kind of a switch. The first thing is in regards to what our new president has said a couple weeks ago. But Joe Biden made this statement. I'm not sure what the conference or what the press, what event was going on that he brought this stuff up. And I'm definitely just paraphrasing it. I don't know the full story, but I do know what I heard, and it is pretty surprising. But Joe Biden pretty much said, if the citizens of the U.S. ever feel the need to go against the government in the case that the government is tyrannical, or that we just feel like the government is a problem that we have to fix ourselves, and maybe it's going to be, at the hands of the Second Amendment, having the right to bear arms and defend ourselves. Joe Biden, I guess he felt that, like, if he's coming from the aspect that if he ever feels like the citizens are coming to overthrow the government, that we better have some F-15 fighter jets and some nukes or something like that. So he basically said, if the citizens ever want to go against the government, we better have fighter jets and nukes that the government has in order for us to have a fair fight. Now, I don't know about you, but that made my jaw drop. That made me stop and be like, what the hell did this man just say? Did he seriously just let that come out of his mouth? Did he seriously just say that the citizens have no chance fighting the government for any reason? And now, like, I'm gonna give a little bit of context in terms of the Second Amendment and what it means to bear arms. I got into firearms this past year. Like, I wholeheartedly believe in the fact that we should be able to defend ourselves, whether it's against criminals, people who want to break the law, who want to do harm to me or my family, and even in the case of a tyrannical government, feeling like like things that like there's this term that goes around a lot. It's called SHTF, which pretty much means shit hits the fan. If things go crazy, the government goes down, we get attacked by another country, things go crazy, like we have the right to defend ourselves against any government powers, right? I don't know what misconceptions people have about the 2A community, or just people who bear arms like lawfully and legally, but the Second Amendment was created literally mostly for the fact that, like, citizens should have the right to defend themselves against the government in the case that the government does something tyrannical, because technically that's what our forefathers were doing in the beginning. Hopefully I don't get too preachy, because I swear I don't like sounding preachy, But this is just things that I researched because it's really important to me, things that I'm actually concerned about. But that's what our forefathers were fighting for in the beginning, was defending themselves against British control. And they pretty much were like, look, we're going to create this country, we're going to create this constitution, all this stuff, right? And we're going to create the same idea that in the future, if the citizens ever feel like the government is doing too much, meaning the forefathers themselves said, if we ourselves are doing too much, if we're being tyrannical, if we're treating the citizens wrong, they have the right to put us in check, pretty much. Let their feelings be known, or to fight against us if that's what it takes to defend like their lives and like, what, their rights and whatnot, right? And pretty much Joe Biden just said that like we have no chance because of how far technology has come. Citizens can't own fighter jets, and we definitely can't own nukes, right? And so he's pretty much saying that like no matter what, if we try to fight them, we had no chance. And that should be extremely concerning to any and everybody. It doesn't matter if you believe in bearing arms, if you have all these negative feelings towards it. That's something that's not good. Because honestly, I'm not saying that I'm like a conspiracy theorist or I just believe in like worst case scenario, but I feel like inevitably it's going to be some other situation like that, potentially that, the government is going to do something tyrannical. It's really going to like, they're going to tell the citizens that we can or can't do something. And citizens are going to feel like they have the right to, step in and try to take control. Now, I don't wish it. I don't hope for it, but it could happen eventually. Or like I said, it could just be like, just something goes crazy with the world. Like I said, shit hits the fan. And I just feel like I needed to like share that with some people because I'm not sure how deep people are into politics or the 2A community. Like I said, I don't watch a lot of, I don't know if I said it before, but I'm not really into politics. I don't really pay attention to these press conferences and all these policy views. Like I'll read about it afterwards, but I'm not like up to date on it. And when I heard about that, it was just pretty concerning. And so, like I said, I think people should just be knowledgeable of it. I'm not trying to influence people to do anything about it, but just to like know that that's what Joe Biden said. That's our president. That's the guy supposed to be leading us into a better environment and help out the people and things like that. And he pretty much just threatened the people with no, like, it's not like citizens, like no citizen said anything about trying to overthrow the government at all, at least to my knowledge. There are definitely some crazies out there that are like, like, oh, we're going to overthrow. That's not the majority population. Most people who own guns or who are in this community don't want to do anything crazy. We're like literally like owning guns is a way to defend yourselves and fight for what you believe is right. And not even to fight for what you believe is right, but to fight for your rights that are, given to you being a U.S. citizen, like that's to defend those rights. That's literally the reason you're supposed to own guns. We're allowed to own guns. And, it's just that, like, the way that, our society is these days, like people are very, there's a group of people who are against that, who are very anti-gun, who are very what is it you call like pro-gun ban or anti-2A, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. But also like those are rights that were written in years ago that honestly shouldn't be tampered with because of the fact that if those rights are taken away, then people have no right to defend themselves against any type of shit hits the fan type of situations, So I'm just saying, I just wanted to share the information with you all, take from it what you will, do your own research as well, like, of course, don't take my word for it. Moving into another area, I'll be pretty honest about this. This past couple months have been very challenging for me, and it's been a couple of times, like literally this past week where I've kind of had a really bad episode of frustration and anger. I got so pissed off about how things are going, and my only reaction is to start yelling and screaming or cursing people out or just acting belligerent and throwing things. Like in the past I've punched things, whether it's a wall or door. And yeah, like this past week, I had another one of those types of episodes where I'm just getting mad and I'm throwing things, I'm yelling and screaming and cursing. I live with my grandparents right now. I stay in the house, and they're very religious. This isn't even the first time that I've had an episode like this in their house that they've like been there to witness. And I did it again. I had another one of these moments of frustration to the point where I'm going off acting the way I would never want to act. And for a number of reasons. One, because that's not the type of image I want to have towards, within my family. Like I don't want my siblings to see me like that. Definitely don't want my kids to see me like that. And here I am, I'm just doing it. And like, I lose control. And it's really poor of me. It's really bad of me. And I've been telling myself for months, I need to go to therapy. I need to figure out how to handle these situations differently. And I'm not going to get into detail about the situations, but I just know that the way that it's going right now, the way that if I continue to act out the way I do, it's not going to work out very well for me. I wanted to talk about just mental health in general, especially for Black men. And before, like I said, I was supposed to record this episode last week. And before I recorded the episode, the reason I wanted to bring up Black mental health for men, or mental health for Black men, was that I was listening to a song. I'm sorry, I'm gonna like switch topic. I'm like, switch, my focus right now. But I was listening to a song. I believe the guy's name is Woody Main. It was a song with him and Boosie Badass. It's called "Take My Hand." And this isn't like a new topic within like trap music, within like hip hop, within rappers who are speaking about this situation where their mental health is bad. This isn't something that you hear about often. It's something that's talked about a lot in music in general. And probably just because of how the Black community views it, how people view the Black community and their mental health and things like that. But in the song, like both of them are just rapping about the fact that like they are going through depression or just extreme amount of loss, frustration, anger, and at even times like trying to tell themselves to not kill themselves because they've lost homies due to violence, due to gun violence, drug violence, just kind of just like the things that happen in the neighborhoods that they're from because of how shitty the situation is. They do things that they have to survive. And in the end, people that they love and they really care for end up losing their lives to dumb shit or just things that are just out of their control. And, these guys are rapping. They're just saying like, like this is things we got to deal with. And I was listening to it and I'm just like, I've heard that theme before. I've heard it in different songs that of course I can't recall at the moment, but I've heard that theme before of how, whether it's rappers or people that was in the situation. I've heard someone Savage say it at some point, I'm sure, just like losing people so close to them in this time of trying to survive and make it out of a terrible situation and try to live a better life. And here they are losing homies and they have to live with that. And I think people don't realize that it's not different from people who lose someone in a tragic accident. Whether it's, a car crash that may happen or another random act of violence where someone took somebody's life. It's not any different in the Black community or in urban communities or communities where poverty and violence happen more often. It's not just Black communities, but in communities just like that, where drugs, gangs, violence, all that stuff is involved. People go through the same types of trauma. But I think people tend to underlook how it is in the Black communities, especially when it comes to Black men and gun violence. People always tend to look at it because I guess I think people in the Black community as well look at it sometimes that way. We're kind of always just in the mindset that like no matter what happens, we have to keep pushing. That we can't really take the time to like think about it. Like we can't be emotional or to be introspective about our lives and things like that. We have to just move on to the next thing. We can't really cope. We don't really have time to like cope. We don't got time to like think about it. It's got to keep going. And that's kind of just the story of Black Americans in the U.S. since slavery. I think people really don't try to treat it any differently, and Black people like are still struggling with it as well. And I think it's getting better. Like mental health awareness is getting a whole lot better, and it's getting better in Black communities as well. But it's just it hasn't like reached everybody, because like like a scenario is just like like imagine like someone who's like who may deal drugs, maybe in a gang and things like that. And they may lose somebody that they really love, like a homie that they were with, they were trying to grind with and things like that. And, they lose that person and then, but like, they can't just openly go to therapy. Like that's not something that's encouraged. And, and that's probably, and again, that's just like how it is in communities like this, because of, kind of like the neglect, or like the lack of appreciation for what that means, or just the fact that doing that, like going to therapy, is just weird. Like that's taboo. Like that's not something that we do. Like, why would you do that? Like that's soft, some shit like that, And like, we can't really like blame people for like thinking that way. But what we can do is try to encourage people to look at it differently, Like, no matter what, people should be open and willing to go to some type of therapy for some type of trauma or some type of loss that they feel, And I feel like I just really want people to like understand that and share that. And, like, reverting that back to what I was saying earlier, everyone goes through some type of like mental health crisis or some type of like challenge with their emotions at some point in their lives. Like, I feel like everyone goes through it at some point, even the nicest, most happiest people go through it at some point, From what I understand, sometimes the happiest people go through some of the hardest things to kind of be happy, to kind of understand, like, like they've gone through so many hard times that like they have to look at life differently. And that's what makes them happy and kind of understand things, It affects people on different levels. And like I said earlier, it's not just in the poor communities or the poverty communities where people go through things like this, where Black men go through things like this, or Black people in general go through all types of like some type of like trauma throughout their lives, Like this past year with the amount of violence towards the Black community, killings. I know Black people were scared last year, and just seeing that stuff on the news was traumatic enough to make people worry, to be scared, to feel like they have to seek out therapy or talking to somebody, or the opposite, maybe feeling like, oh my God, like I don't want to go outside, I don't want to be a part of this society. Like I said, I feel like it affects people on a bunch of different levels. It doesn't matter what your social class is, whether you're rich or poor, in the middle, whatever your income is, whether you're in poverty or not. Black people go through all types of different trauma. And honestly, Black people probably need mental health therapy and care a whole lot more than any other community in the U.S., Like, the U.S. has treated Black Americans so wrong. Black people deserve all types of free therapy, whether it's just letting somebody listen to us talk about things and try to help us figure it out. We should be given all types of mental health therapy, like, for free, like no charge, because that's something that we deserve as a result of how we've been treated throughout, since the creation of the United States, or since the exploration of North America. Like I said, like I just feel like people need to understand that more. And like, I don't like know this podcast isn't going to reach that many people, but for the people who do hear this, whether you're Black or not, like, take your time to take care of yourself. If you're a Black man listening to this, you especially, Black men deal with so many things that people just don't understand, And so, like, as a Black man who is struggling with his mental health at times, who loses control or is just so frustrated and can't really understand how things are going or what to do about the things that challenge him, like, take time to take care of yourself, Like this past episode that I had really showed me that I need to get things figured out this time around. I can't keep letting that happen, Because it's no longer just affecting maybe the person or the situation that, like, I was angry at. It could damage the relationship I have with my family, my parents, grandparents, my siblings who look up to me. I want to be influential to those people who are close to me. I want them to look up to me and understand that I've gone through so many different challenges, and so can they. And so, yeah, for my young Black men, old Black men, we all have a lot of things we have to figure out, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with reaching out and talking to somebody about your problems. It could be a close friend. It could be someone completely out of all situations, out of your life, like a therapist, or just a random stranger. Just someone disconnected from your life in general. Just please do not neglect the idea that we struggle with our mental health. Like I said, like this can apply to a lot of people, but I want to speak to Black men specifically. Like, we need it. We really do. I don't know. I can't like talk on that. Like, I can't like kind of express it any further that we really need it. Like, I really need it right now. And like I thought I was good. I've always thought I was good with things like that. But I've dealt with enough stuff before to kind of understand that I don't know how to handle a lot of situations. There are a lot of things that make me emotional or make me overthink that really make me concerned about my well-being sometimes. And, you know, like I'm not too big for this. Like, you know, like sometimes you have to be prideful when you have hardships and things like that. You got to be like, you know, I get through this, I'm fine. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking a couple minutes, a couple hours, days, weeks, months, years to kind of be like, you know, I gotta figure this shit out before I can say like I'm good. You know, I think that's a misconception when it comes to things like that people can kind of just be like, you know, shrug it off and move on. Nah, take some time to figure it out. Talk to somebody for real. Like we need it. All of us, Black men, everybody in general, like take some time to figure things out, you know? Yeah, that's all I have for now. You know, those things was on my mind. Maybe it was a blessing that my first recording didn't go so good, so I can talk on things a little bit more personal this time around. But yeah, that's all I have for now. I really do appreciate you for listening all the way through. I try to keep these episodes shorter, but you know, maybe they'll just always be around here. You know, I'm also trying not to be hypercritical of myself when I do these types of things. You know, this is very open and expressive, and also a challenge all amongst itself. Like I said, hardware issues, it's whatever. I'll figure these things out. But as long as I'm reaching somebody and people are getting something from this, you know, whether they're getting a laugh off something that I said, you know, I'm not funny at all, but just maybe something to relate to, or maybe somebody actually connected to what I just talked about with mental health. Like that's all I really want. I don't, you know, it would be nice to reach a bigger audience, but with the audience that I have now, as long as I'm reaching somebody, that's all I really care about. That's the one thing I really want, is to just reach people. Whoever listens to this reach them in some type of way. So again, thank you so much for listening. I truly do appreciate it. Again, go to Apple Podcasts and rate it 5 stars. Go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, like the video version, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I really would like to hear what you guys think, what you all think, or you know, leave me some suggestions for things to talk about, whether it's story times or just random scenarios, or you want me to, like, you know, maybe tell me a story, I'll respond to it. You know, let me tell you how I feel about it, you know. And yeah, in the future, I want to bring a guest on, but you know, I think I'm really just riding it solo for now. So until then, you know, like just continue to tune in. I really appreciate people who have been listening. I really do love and appreciate you all, for real. And yeah, this has been another episode of Tint Free. I hope I was able to relate, shed light on something that, you know, something that you could learn from. And yeah, I'm Tyler Zorro. And until next time, peace and love. Be safe. Love you.